y'all are doing marvelous. I got a video for you that is gonna be kind of standalone. I haven't done one of these in a while. I started doing more of the, just meal prep sessions where I don't really say much or what have you, but I wanna go over quinoa, right? So this is right here is tricolor quinoa. It's got red, white, and black in it. And I'm gonna go over how to make it in the pressure cooker, all right? This video, a couple people wanted me to, try to see if I can talk about doing this in a pressure cooker as opposed to the stovetop method, because what a lot of people, what they find, and in addition, myself too, what we find is that when we do quinoa on the stovetop, sometimes the quinoa, like it'll stick when you go to try to fluff it out or what have you. Even with using the right ratio, sometimes it does, stick to the bottom, or, maybe it doesn't turn out the same way in a stovetop as it will in a pressure cooker. So let's get started. General rule of thumb with quinoa of all types is for every 1 cup of quinoa, you want anywhere between 1 to 1.5 cups of water. Now, any more than that in your quinoa will end up turning into mush. So what I'm cooking here is 2 cups of quinoa for my meal prep this week. And so in addition to that, I have 2.5 cups of water. So we're gonna go ahead and throw this in the pressure cooker, and we'll go from there. At this point, if you want to, you can go ahead and add your, like your salt and pepper or whatever other spices you may want to use. I typically don't add that on until after the quinoa is finished. But that's personal preference. That's up to you. So now I'm gonna go ahead and close this here. And I'm gonna lock this, whatever pressure cooker y'all have, that's, you know how to use it. So, you adjust accordingly. But now what you're gonna do is you're gonna set this on pressure cook. If you have a low and a high, temperature, setting, then you wanna set it on high. This pressure cooker doesn't have that. So it's just gonna be pressure cook. And for the time, we're gonna go ahead and turn the time to 1 minute, right? So now, I know what a lot of y'all might be thinking is that 1 minute's not a whole lot of time. But, with a pressure cooker, it still does have to build up pressure. And that takes about a good 15 or so minutes before it even gets to that 1 minute of cooking. So it's gonna be in here a little bit. This is the, release options. So you got natural, pulse, and then quick release. But you wanna make sure you do a natural release, because you're gonna let once it's finished, once that 1 minute is done and it's finished cooking, you're gonna let the steam naturally release itself for about a good 15 minutes. You just wanna let it naturally go ahead and evaporate. So we're gonna go ahead now and start it, and I'll come back once it's finished. All right, y'all, so once the quinoa is finished, that's what it should look like. And you just take a fork, right, and you just fluff it on out. And you'll notice, it's a lot better cooking it in a pressure cooker as opposed to on the stove. Because like right now, you can kind of see the bottom of my pot here. None of this quinoa is sticking or anything like that. So this right here is what your quinoa should look like. And now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all what I decided to pair this with. I have the quinoa that I just made. And I got, some chicken bites, right? With, covered in some Kinder seasonings that I used. I used the cowboy blend seasoning, or I believe it's called cowboy butter, which is basically, it consists of butter, Dijon, and chili. And then I also used a little bit of the blend Kinders, which is just simple salt, pepper, and garlic, but it tastes really good. And then I use lemon pepper on the veggies. I use the same seasonings that I did on the chicken as on the veggies, with the exception of the veggies has a bit of an addition. That's dashed lemon pepper. But this right here tastes pretty good. I just simply use some salt, pepper, and a little bit of the blend on the quinoa. But this right here is what I got, y'all. And now before I start eating all of this, I'm gonna go ahead and just put it away. Because y'all know how I can do sometimes with my meal prep. Once I start taking a bite, I wanna finish it all. So that's it, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed. That's how you make quinoa though in a pressure cooker. I hope this video helps you out. And should you decide to try this out for yourself, hope you enjoyed as much as me. Take care.